Have you heard of Aoibheall, the fairy queen of Ireland long forgotten? This is her land behind me. Ligia is its name. And she was guardian to the O'Brien family. Maybe there's still some of you out there. She guarded Brian Boru and warned him of his impending death. And all of us must beware of her music, because if you hear her harp play, you too are doomed to die. Join me to explore the story of one of Ireland's most fascinating creatures. What are you waiting for, guys? It's Balor Otherworld. Let's go.
Aoibheall's mother remains a mystery, but her father was a druid who served loyally at the hand of Manannán mac Lir, the god of the sea. And she had two sisters that we know of. One was Anya, the goddess of summer in Limerick, and her sister Cliona, queen of the Norries and the Banshees, who controlled South Munster. The three sisters represented sovereignty in Ireland and were very, very powerful. But after a few years, a rivalry emerged between Cliona and Aoibheall, which proved disastrous for both.
Why was there a rift between the two sisters? Well, it was love, wasn't it? That was the cause. They both fell in love with the same man, O'Queeve or Ciaván, depending on the story. This grand hero from Munster caught both their eyes, and it seemed he preferred Aoibheall, but then Cliona used magic and turned her sister into a white cat and trapped her in a cave for a long, long time. When Aoibheall finally got out, she discovered that her sister had become married to O'Queeve, and she swore never to speak to either of them again. Tragically, their story ends much like Romeo and Juliet's, but that's a tale for another video. When Aoibheall finally returned to human form, she made her way back up here to Clare, to Killaloo, and she created a great bond with the O'Brien family. Right behind me is Brian Boru's fort. This was how he controlled access up the River Shannon. It's how he fought against and defeated the Vikings. And having a neighbour up on the hill at Ligia in Aoibheall was a great asset, because she used to play this beautiful golden harp, and if you listened very, very carefully, you'd hear nothing. And you didn't want to hear anything, because if you heard the sound of her sweet tune, it warned that you were to die very shortly after. And it was a great way for Brian to measure who was to die soon. He would invite all the leaders, especially enemies, when he was about to go to war, and he would have Cliona playing her music, and he would check to see if anyone commented on the harp. And if they did, he knew, if we go to battle tomorrow, these men will die. It's a very good strategy. This bond is really most of what people recall of Aoibheall. But there was another thing. When she fell deeply and madly in love with one of the members of Brian's household. But to explore that, we must go inside. So follow me. Brian was preparing for the great battle of Clontarf, and he needed every man at his disposal, which included Donncha, a man who had captured the heart of Aoibheall. She tried to prevent him going with the army up to Clontarf, so she summoned a great mist to make it impossible for him to find his way. But he did. He persisted. He said, I have to fulfill my duty. I have to maintain my honour. And Aoibheall followed him up there, and she went into Brian's tent, pleading with the great king not to bring him to battle. She said, Brian, you, your son, and my lover, they will die in this battle. And she looked to Donncha. She said, if you come with me now, I promise you 200 years you will live with me in happiness in Clare. But he said, no, not for all the love or silver or gold, because my honour is bound to me fighting in this great battle. Tragically, what she said came to pass. Brian, his son, and Donica all perished in that great battle, although they triumphed. And ever since, we have wondered where Aoibheall disappeared. Some say that you occasionally spot her on Craiglia. Others that she vanished from this world shortly after the forests here were cleared. What do you think? Where is she now? Hidden in the fairy world, or roaming around the trees, waiting to find a new lover to ensnare?